I am so humbled to be here tonight. When I look around this room and look at the front row here and all of these legends that I grew up idolizing in a sport that I idolized, and for me tonight to be able to go in with my good buddy Richard Childress. I'll never follow you again, Richard. Never. I never want to follow you again. Mark Martin. Mark, you make a difference. You've made a difference in every organization that you've ever been in. And you made a big difference in ours. I'm a pretty good car salesman because I had to talk you and your wife into coming out of retirement to do the whole deal. But congratulations, it's well deserved. And Benny Parsons. Benny was one sweet man. He loved everybody. He lifted everybody. He was such an ambassador to our sport. He was a champion, but he was a champion in the booth. He was a champion person. And when you go through life and no one has anything to say ugly about you, can say anything negative, then you are a true champion, and Benny was that guy. And to the Parks family, I've read about him and I've watched the videos, and we surely wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. So what he's done for our sport to get us to this place, it's amazing. So congratulations to you. Well deserved. He should have been in a long time ago. Thank you. And to my wife, Linda, I don't know if you remember this, I'm sure you do. 44 years ago this month, we swapped rings. So this ring is as much for you as it is for me. Because there's nobody has sacrificed what you've sacrificed for me to do what I've done. She stood in the back of the grocery store with me, and we counted our money before we went to the checkout line. Our bed in our first house had 3 legs and a Muncie 4-speed gearbox for the 4th leg. When we were boat racing, she was selling T-shirts out of the back of the trailer so we could raise enough money to go back and do it again. So she sits in church on Sunday, so many Sundays by herself when I've been gone for 44 years. Doing what I love. So tonight, this is as much yours, probably more than it is mine. I love you and thank you for all you've done. To Jeff and Jimmy, thank you for that introduction. You two champions have been so instrumental in helping me and being such great role models, not just the champions that you are, but what you've done outside of the car. You have been a great role model for a lot of people. Tonight, I'm very blessed. I've got my daughter Lynn, my 3 grandchildren here, Ricky, Kate, and Hendrick, and Emily and Tyler, and my Kathy, and just all of my families here, cousins. So I'm sharing it tonight. It's about my family. I'm sharing it with them. One of the coolest things I had is my 3 grandchildren interviewed me for the Hall of Fame tonight on video. So I can't wait to let them grow up and see that. So this has been a special night for me, and it's just really hard for me to believe that a kid growing up on a tobacco farm in rural Virginia that dreamed about racing, just racing in hot rods and waiting for Linda. You know, those were the 3 things. And always wanting to be involved in racing somehow. But I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, but I knew what I didn't want to do, and that was to be a tobacco farmer. And, but I wouldn't take anything for the time that I spent with my mom and dad. They taught me something that really has been the pillar of my life, and that is you need to take care of other people if you want people to take care of you. You need to take care of your neighbors, and you need to do for others, and good things will happen to you. You know, God really blessed me by giving me terrific parents. My dad taught me how to work with my hands. It was racing that got me in the automobile business. And I think back to all the lessons. I've got a lot of friends here tonight that are bankers. My mother taught me how to borrow money. I'm very good at that. I think back to Linda and I moving to Charlotte, and I was selling parts to all the race teams that weren't funded. And I got a call one day when Richard Broom and I were drag boat racing, and we were looking for a sponsor, and Max Mulliman called me and he said, would you like to own a race team with maybe C.K. Spurlock be All-Star Racing, Richard Petty be the driver? And I thought, is this a trick question? You know, are you serious? Well, the All-Star part, Richard was smart. He didn't come aboard. Richard, how many championships would you have won now? Would it be more than 7? I'm just kidding. But anyway, I met this guy, Harry Hyde, who was a better salesman than I am. Harry Hyde convinced me if he could build one car, that he could go win a race, and I believed it. And when we formed All-Star Racing in that little tin building on the hill, we had 5 employees. I was renting the transmissions, renting the equipment, and Harry was making $500 a week. And we raced for 6 races with Jeff Bodine. And I said, Harry, we wrecked Darlington, and I said, you know, I can't go any further. If we don't get a sponsor, we got to close the doors. Now, true story, Linda's here. I had promised her we'd go to a revival. So on the Martinsville race, the 7th race, I was in church. And I went to a payphone after church, and I called my mother. And I said, Mom, how did the race end up in Martinsville? She said, you didn't hear? And I said, no. She said, Jeff blew up. And I said, blew up? Okay. She said, no, he won. And I said, he won the race? So everybody was wrapping his yard in toilet paper, but I think I had divine intervention that day because I was in church. But we got a sponsor that year, and kind of the rest is history. You know, when I think about accepting this award tonight, I think about all the people that have been involved in motorsports. And I can't name them all. I won't even try, like Richard, with putting their names on the wall. You know who you are. Every person in the very beginning to the day, everyone that laid a brick is part of this. And it's the same thing we talk about in the automobile business. It's together we achieve more. Working together. Dale said it. I believe that with all my heart. I love the sport. I love the fact that we are a family. I love the fact that when I had the tragedy that all these folks, Richard Childress included, every owner, everybody in the garage reached out to us, and they were there for us. We compete on Sunday, but we're there for each other in a time of real tragedy. And I remember, Richard will remember this, there was a movie about it. Bill France called us down to Florida, and he pinned our ears back like I've never had anybody talk to me in my life. But the day I was diagnosed with leukemia, shortly thereafter, he walked in the front door of my house and he said, I just want to look at you and make sure you're okay. So that's the kind of direction we had with NASCAR. But at the same time, there was awful lot of love inside this room. So I humbly accept this tonight, and all the drivers that have been involved in our company, all the mechanics, everybody that's ever been a part of it, I accept this on your behalf. past and present. I know my son is watching tonight, and he's so proud. Congratulations to Jimmy for winning number 7, dedicating it to him. It's something those folks we lost will always be big in our heart. But I can tell you that the feelings that I have for this sport and for all the people in it, all the sponsors, and I've got so many here tonight, I can't name them all, don't want to do that. But it's your faith, it's your family and your friends that get you through life. And that's the most important thing when it's all over. It's the people that you touch and the lives you change that make a difference in this world. Now to Dale and Chase and the rest of our gang, Casey and Jimmy. I'm not retiring, so that doesn't mean we're not going to go win some more races. So it's not over. But so we're going to, and to William Byron, all these young guys keep me pumped up. But I'm the luckiest guy in the world, in the world because of my family, because of the friends I've met in this sport. I thank you, and God bless you, and thank everyone for voting for me and all the fans, because this is an honor that I'll never, ever forget. Thank you.